we're absolutely convinced we need to create another economic development area. Now, with the tourist industry and with construction and with agriculture, we find that we have economic slumps that create problems within our community. The film production area and filming in general is a way that we can invite an entire new industry into our community that has all the components that we were looking for: high-paying jobs, needing skilled workers, and jobs that are going to be here long-term, and that have a very different trend than our tourism industry and our construction industry. In other words, when the tourism industry goes down, the film production area is not going to follow the same pattern. So we'll have a much stabler economy. Now, that being said, what we're trying to develop is a full-fledged industry here on Maui. Not just trying to entice one or two pictures. What we want is long-term employment and the ability to work year in, year out in this area. There are many other communities that we've looked at that have succeeded very well in this area. And we've developed some partnerships to begin the exploration. Our council, to this point, has been passing rules to be able to allow us to start proving to everyone that they're serious about this. In the zoning area, they've actually created, in our zoning, the ability to do film production studios. In finance, under economic development, they have created a fund to be able to help work with the film industry, and they're currently contemplating putting $7 million into that fund. This past year at the state legislature, our Senator Shan Satsui and the other legislators followed our lead and pushed very hard to be able to create a film production tax credit. If we can get that tax credit through this year, and it passed both the House and the Senate last year, and we feel that it will pass very quickly when this next legislation starts, we'll be able to attract people to build film production studios because of that tax credit. It'll help tremendously to get our infrastructure going. So the point I'm trying to make to all of you is we need all of your help. As part of our movement, what we're trying to do now is we're trying to establish very clearly that we have talent here on Maui. You know, there are a lot of people that ask, what do we have as far as infrastructure? And all of you that are here are a very important part of that infrastructure. When they're looking for people that can work the cameras, when they're looking for people that can build the stages, when they're looking for people that do everything that we need within the film production area, including being on set, we have to be able to show them very clearly that we do have talent here, and that we've got serious talent here, and other people that are willing to learn about the industry, and that there's a great interest. So I want to again thank each and every one of you for showing your willingness to get into this industry and help us develop it into a full-fledged industry. It's important for our future to be able to have and develop other economic engines. We don't want to be dependent on the national trends, which may collapse on us and have nothing to defend ourselves with. We want to be able to make sure that our economy is stable, no matter what happens. And this will allow us to be able to work in a totally different area and allow that stability. So thank you very much. We are very, very serious about this. And as you know, I pointed out a little bit earlier, the council is serious enough to try and work in $7 million to start. This is not something that we're looking at lightly. And we're very confident that we're going to be able to develop this into a full-fledged industry. So with your help tonight, we're going to try and get everybody signed up for the various categories to help us to be able to quantify all of the talent that we do have and those that want to become talent. So thank you very much for your support, and thank you for being here.
We're trying to create a new form of film office, one that isn't just a permit place, but a place that actually facilitates and assists in productions, assists in introducing people together, meeting needs and fulfilling them, and being very proactive about it and not reactive. And part of that is today, and the questionnaires that have been put out in front of you. This will help us try and figure out how to guide ourselves to the future. What kind of educational programs are needed here on island, how we want our unions to represent us, and how we want to move forward with this industry. Do we want it to strictly be a green industry, or just, we don't care, just bring film, bring film. So without this kind of information, it's hard for us to operate in a way that represents you. So thank you again for coming today, because now you're going to let us know. As I'm going down the list, we're in the process of trying to pass some state legislature that's desperately required for moving forward in the film industry. There are two pieces of this legislature that are important. One is the infrastructure tax credit, and the other is a slight bump in the existing tax credit that's offered for productions that come here. At the moment, it stands when you film on the outer island that you get a 20% tax credit for all production expenses that are brought here. Our goal is to try and increase that to 25 or possibly 30. The initial bill was put in at 40%, which the state of Hawaii has determined is too difficult and too fiscally irresponsible for it. But the 25 to 30% bracket should be acceptable, and that will put us in an incredibly competitive edge in the marketplace. The jurisdictions that we're competing with can be upwards of 30% as a tax credit. So being able to compete now at their level is very important. And the other is the infrastructure credit. The infrastructure credit allows for companies to invest in the infrastructure of the film and television industry here in the state, actually, not just on Maui, and be given a credit back on that. I'm trying to think, it's 20%. I believe it's 20% as it stands right now for the infrastructure credit as well. This allows the state of Hawaii to become competitive. We have states like Louisiana, we have Puerto Rico that we compete with. Connecticut, for all places, has a very high tax incentive program and are doing very, very well drawing production out of New York. So this is important. If you want to help with us, please let your legislatures know, your representatives, your senators, everybody that you can talk to. Let them know they need to pass this. They need to do it in some manner, shape, or form. And it's your support that will help get this through.
This is happening because our mayor made a personal connection with these people, and that's what we're telling you tonight, the power of people to people. That's how we're going to build this. You can make all the glossy portfolios in the world, and they probably end up on a stack and a desk somewhere where people are never going to see them. But you make that human connection, that's the powerful, that's where the power is. And that's what we're going to have to do, because we are Maui, we're out here, but we know we're special, we know what we have to offer. So I just wanted to tell you that we are looking beyond the shores of the United States for film work, and I think we're going to be very successful with your help.